Hello again, everyone, and welcome to this episode of One-on-One. I'm Martin False, and today we're going to go down into the history lane. We're going to take you back and find out all about Fakier Jewelers. We'll have our guest, Greg Fakier, who a lot of you know in the community. When we come back, the history and a look in the past. Don't go away. One-on-One is brought to you by the Law Office of Waits and Downer. And welcome back to One-on-One. I'm Martin False, and as promised, Greg Fakier, who's the president of Fakier Jewelers, and he and his family have owned Fakier Jewelers for a long time here in the community. Greg, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Martin.
Such a landmark would be a good word. But I see a lot of people like myself, we grew up knowing the Fakiers, the old Fox Theater. We knew that store. Of course, a lot of them growing up now know the store right across the street from HTV right here. But there were other locations before that. Take us back down memory lane. What's the first location?
The first location, and of course, Patsy, who you know, would be able to elaborate more on this. Yeah. She's not here today. Right. But the first location was on the side of Sadie's Haberdashery, which a lot of viewers may know that, some won't. But it was a small little portion in his store, kind of as a joke, was in the alleyway. And then it moved across the street. That was location number 2, near the Petit Theater, right, in that vicinity. The address is irrelevant now because 911 had changed all those addresses. And then from there, it went to the Fox. Yeah. And it became the third location. And in the Fox, it was from 1967 to 2017. So it was exactly 50 years in that Fox location.
And you know, the thing about it, the colorful people, I always call them characters. In any business, you're going to have certain people that just stick out. I remember hanging around my friends' parents, and they would always talk of your dad, and everybody had a story. I mean, the stories were so funny. That group had more fun, I think, than any group imaginable, but practical jokes. And I mean, I heard stories about dump trucks dumping stuff in people's yards. And of course, I have to say our class does a lot of that too. But you grew up with that. What was that like?
The dump truck? Yeah. I remember that because I was very young and was one of my dad's good friends. And they got a dump truck full of trash and they poured it right in the front yard, and we were like, this is like crazy. And of course, there was retaliations, burying things in people's flower beds, and there was just a lot of that. But that was all Mardi Gras-driven joking. Yeah. And they did a lot of that back then.
Was your dad, I know your mom, beautiful, wonderful
Thank you.
Lady. Didn't know your dad real well, but you're a very meticulous kind of person. Who'd you get that from, your mom or your dad? Was your dad meticulous?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah.
I know that I didn't work long with my dad. About 7 or 8 months. He got sick. And so we were, my brother Glenn and I were thrown in that situation. So we didn't work a lot, but we fished a lot together. So our time together was fishing. Which we had a lot of that, and it was a lot of fun, and we got along well. So it would have been interesting to know if we'd have got along well in business.
2 peas in a pod.
Two peas in a pod. My brother Glenn and I got along good. Yeah. And I think because we fished together well, and with the 3 of us, and my brother George would join in on that a little bit too.
But fishing and jewelry might be 2 different things.
It is, but you have to listen to each other.
That's right.
How to set the lines out. When to pull them in, turn the boat here to put the bait in front of the fish. Yeah. And so we were a team. We worked together well. And I think in business we'd have done the same because Glenn and I did it, and so I think my father would. My mother joined the business, after my father's death, and we worked well together. And like any family business, there's a lot of button heads, but at the end of the day, the fight was, if there was fights, it was over with quickly, and by the end of the day, it was over with.
It's all about communication, right?
Yeah.
Any business is about communication.
All the same.
What's the earliest years you remember about Fakier Jewelers? I mean, you weren't thrown into it at 5 years old, but obviously you have some memories of it.
In '67, when they were building the Fox Theater location, we were playing around in that store. We were in there goofing off, playing with it, but you were kids. And so there was really no thoughts at all that I was going to be working in that environment, because to me it was a play area, building it out and looking at the new this, that, and other things. So my memory really is of the Fox Theater location, because I really don't remember the others at all. There's no memory at all.
Yeah, somebody recently sent me the last picture that played at the Fox Theater. And I think they're going to bring the picture over here for me to look at it. So that'll be interesting.
Was that 55 Days at Peking?
I'm not sure yet.
Not sure yet.
I'll find out when it gets here for sure.
You may have that. You may have that picture in our archives.
Okay. Oh, cool.
For all of your cases, including those with catastrophic significance, call Waits and Downer Law Firm.
The jewelry business in general. Everybody has their own sector of business and they all know it pretty well. In listening to stories, especially when I used to hang out with Glenn and we would talk about just everything, the jewelry business you got to constantly be on alert, constantly look for the right price, constantly look for the right diamond, constantly be on guard, because I'm sure people come up to you and try to approach you with different things. So you got to be on your A game all the time, don't you?
Absolutely. And it can be related to any business, to be frank with you, because we all have major challenges in the jewelry world, and doctors have their own challenges, and TV stations do too. Yeah. So everybody has the world's changing very quickly. But to be honest with you, the jewelry industry, like a lot of things, it's changing, but it's still the same. A lot of the same, just a different twist on certain elements of it. But we're selling valuable small things and have been for a long time.
But y'all been able to adjust over the years when big chain stores, especially when you used to turn on New Orleans TV when we were a little younger, and even before HTV was even born, you had all these big jewelry stores competing for business. But some of that, of course, would trickle down into this area. But y'all were always able to differentiate yourself and sort of stay away from the fray. Y'all have marketing campaigns that have been very successful.
Thank you.
A lot of people want to be on the billboard, get their wedding photo on there and all that. So y'all have had to adapt to keep on going.
Yes.
Talk about that a little bit.
Our campaign has always been a customer-driven campaign for a long time. There is certain fun about that, We've just, I can't tell you how much of a success that's been, because these clients are also our influencers. They enjoy it. We have a ball putting it together with them. Mm-hmm. And so it's been a really good campaign. It's been a lot of fun over the years. And we're probably in the 27, 30 years of doing that.
Wow, it's been that long.
It's maybe it's for sure 25.
Time flies.
For sure 25. It could be 30. And, it's been, but now with technology, we can do things faster.
Yeah.
So now we've given the opportunity for a lot more people to join in the fun. And so, in all kind of directions. But it's been a lot of fun.
While I'm talking to you, I'm sort of chuckling to myself. I got to throw in this story on this show. Because you were in the class of 79, I'm in the 78, and our classes got along pretty
Quite well, yeah.
Originally, a lot of people don't realize you had bought this building where HTV's at.
That's right.
And so I wanted to buy the building.
Yeah.
You bought the building.
And
I get a phone call from you one day and said, man, do you want the building? And I said, yeah, I'd like to. Let's sit down, and we worked out the deal. And I never forget, I called Mike Duplantis, both our dear friends.
That's right.
And I said, Mike, in a couple of minutes, I'm going to call Greg Fakier and tell him that he should have taken one more panel. Now, you had started taking the panels off where the old shoe department would be, which is now my office.
That's right.
And the rest of them, I think at that point you probably said, okay, Martin, you wanted to build it. So I get in there and I called you and I said, if you'd have went one more panel, you would have found what I found. And you went, what did you find? I went, $250,000 cash in a box.
Yeah.
There was silence on the other end.
I was trying to figure out if you're telling the truth or not.
Well, wait, so I said, I got to go, Greg, got another call. And I hung up. Called Mike Duplantis. I said, you're going to be getting a call from Greg within 5 minutes. Sure enough, you called Mike to see if this was some kind of joke on my end. Just for the record, were you hyperventilating on the other end?
No, I absolutely. I said, he is pulling my leg.
That was a good old day.
It was funny, though.
For all of your cases, including those with catastrophic significance, call Waits and Downer Law Firm.
You mentioned your Aunt Patsy.
Yeah.
Talk about a lot of people have trouble figuring out the relations between everybody. So bring us to school.
Okay, so my grandfather had 3 kids. In the early days, my grandmother was like a support system. She didn't really work in the store, maybe Christmas, but he had 3 kids who all were involved in the store until my father's death.
Okay.
So my grandfather passed away in 77. He also passed at the Fox Theater location. My father and my 2 aunts worked in that store up until that point, from the Petit Theater, call it, location, all the way up until the Fox Theater location.
Okay.
And so, it was a family affair. There was some key people that were along the way. I mean, I can name names, but the public's not going to know them, but there was some very good key people along the way that worked at that store. It wasn't just family making it successful. Right. It was the employees too, and we got a good group now as well. And so after my father's death in 79, before that, he asked my brother Glenn and I if we would like to be in the business, because he knew he was dying and we had to make a decision on what was going to happen. Mm-hmm. So he bought my mother and father bought my aunts out. They continued to work for a while to teach us and nourish the relationships with, to keep the store going. It worked out. He died in 79. Glenn and I kept it going with my mother, my wife, Manon, who's integral in the location that you see now. I mean, that's her. Mm-hmm. She joined us in 83 when we got married. And so it was a team. Susan worked in there. My little sister Susan worked in there for a couple of years. And Susan and George still to this day, they're not working in the store, but they're working outside the store. Mm-hmm. They're our voices.
I saw George at Mardi Gras was on the balcony looking. I saw somebody waving across the street.
It was George.
Him and his wife.
Yeah.
And a young one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were waving.
7-year-old.
Yeah, so I had to adjust my eyes a little bit to make sure I was.
You see it right.
I hadn't seen him in a long time,
Right.
you know. Yeah, Aunt Patsy knew everything about this parish. She knew how many oyster shells were across the street in the parking lot.
She did. And she was married to Tommy Cobb for a long
Yeah,
time, who
yeah.
was the local historian.
Right.
And those two got along well when it comes to that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, she knew a lot. And if she was here today, she could answer some good questions for us, you know. But I'm going to ask my Aunt MJ, and she'll answer a lot of them.
Is that a family trait, just being interested in the history of things?
Well, it definitely was Patsy's, that's for sure. She was interested in that, you know.
Yeah. What do you have to do, like the progression of jewelry, without giving away trade secrets, of course? I'm just talking about moving how many different locations to where you are now. It's a progression of things, but the fads that come and go, there's certain things that always remain the same. A diamond, for example,
Yeah.
sort of remains the same, but watches sort of change along the way. You got to be flexible, don't you?
Well, let's talk about diamonds and watches.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Rolex. So when I first came aboard in '78, Rolex was a fine product. It's unbelievable, the quality of this product. If you look at today's Rolex and put it side by side with a 1978 model, is a tremendous difference in quality. So, you know, because of the experience of seeing the '78 model, I'm an expert on that time frame.
Right.
You know, can memorize model numbers and how a dial is put on the watch, and just small details that we grew up with and seeing that. Then you look at today's, it is insane, the level of how it's changed. The quality, it's literally day and night. And it was good back then, it's impeccable now. And it's a testament to the founder of Rolex, you know, that Rolex is a charitable foundation. There's 1,000 charities that Rolex supports. So the founder had the wisdom to say that his company was going to support, the watch has to prosper to be able to support charity. And that's what Rolex's story is. Mm-hmm. So every profit dollar that Rolex makes after it prospers, the watch line goes to charitable foundations around the world, and there's a lot of them, thousands, at least 1,000. So that is a great story, but the quality of the product has changed.
For all of your cases, including those with catastrophic significance, call Waits and Downer Law Firm. This one-on-one program has been brought to you by the law offices of Waits and Downer.
HTV, bringing you local news and sports for over 36 years. From tragic events to heartwarming stories from the community, sports from the regular season and into the playoffs. We were there each time COVID struck. And when Hurricane Ida devastated the area, HTV was there before and after the storm, bringing you live storm track updates and coverage of the aftermath. When other news outlets left, HTV was there, helping those in need. So for your news, stick with the ones you know, the ones that know you.